pose today. Start in a child's pose, have some blocks at the top of the mat. I mean, life is pretty funny. We have to laugh in moments and every moment that we can. Child's pose. Just taking this time to be here, so beneficial. Let your knees go super wide and your big toes touch. If this doesn't feel good for you, you can always go on your backs. I'm actually gonna have my arms back in child's pose today with the palms facing up. And I'm gonna loosely clasp my hands behind my back with slightly bent elbows. If this doesn't feel good, then you find another alternative. Take a big, full inhale breath. Take a loud exhale out through your mouth. And let your seat get heavy in towards your heels. Now seal your lips and begin Ujjayi breath. Inhalation is through the nose. Exhalation is through the nose. And then just start to link the feeling, your feeling, with your breath as you move through the practice. If your hands are clasped, begin to reach them forward and slide your palms all the way forward like a down dog. Activate your hands, get a lift of your forearms. You can begin to make this connection. This is your connection to the ground, to get rooted. And then lift your hips up, curl the toes into the mat, and find your way to a down dog. Good. And we're gonna walk our dog this morning in down dog. It's kind of a funny word. So hands are gonna be most likely as wide as the mat. Take a little glance at them and see if the index fingers are forward. Little bend behind your knees and your hips lift high. And then just pump out your legs. So one leg bends and the other leg straightens. And then the other leg bends, kind of like you're running in place, and the other leg straightens. And just do this a few times so you just begin to feel kind of all the junk moving through your body. Let your head go if you can. And as we move through this morning's practice, just really cutting ourselves some slack, like modifying as much as you need, or if you feel really revved up, adding in extra push-ups or whatever it is that you need to make things work. So once you're done walking the dog, just find stillness. Spread your toes wide. Plug down for the thumb, the index finger, the baby finger. Good. And just here, just float your right leg up hip height, just hip height, and flex your right foot strong without opening up your hip. Plug your hands down, fire up the sides of your arms. And breathe some space in between your inner thighs as you hold your right leg in the air. That's exactly it. Draw the navel in. Yep, just hold it up. Flex the foot a little bit more intently. Yeah, it wants to drop. 2 more breaths. Contract the glute, the thigh. Good. Lower the right foot back down, down dog. Ground down, and on the exhale, breath, float the left leg up, only hip height, almost like you're moving through thick humidity. Well, some of you are in humidity. Breathe. Sometimes when you do the single leg, you begin to feel more of the leg that's down. Make sure you're not opening up your hips. Plug down, thumb, index finger, baby finger, wrapping of the sides of the triceps, just head hanging soft. Breathe a little bit more energy into your left thigh as you lift it up 1 inch higher. Lower it down. Roll forward now to plank. Plank position. Meet your eyes to the front edge of the mat. Feel the ground. I'm going to go ahead and modify my plank. And if you feel like you want to join me in this, you can. If not, regular plank. In plank, feel like you're pulling your chest through your body, your front side of your body. So like you're leading the plank with your chest moving forward. Good. Sides of your arms are really gripping in. The navel is firm, pulling up to the back of the spine. And wherever you are, your thighs are contracted. And you're moving energy from your heels to the crown of your head. You're still in plank. And if you need to modify, such as I'm showing, you join me. If it's not, you know, if you've got energy, you stay. Plank position, strong, solid foundation to this practice and to yourself as you breathe. Breathe a little bit more energy through your body. Lower halfway to a chaturanga. I'm going to take a baby push-up today, so just a micro bend of the elbows. You're welcome to try this, or halfway to a chaturanga. Draw the belly in. Re-straighten your arms to a solid plank hold. Go again. Your version of chaturanga could be a micro bend. It can be a halfway to the floor. Belly draws in. Re-straighten your arms to a plank. Pause. One more time. You got this. Lower halfway to a chaturanga dandasana. Pause in your chaturanga. Lead with your heart, upward facing. Activate your legs, or baby cobra is available. Press down through your hands. Look up with your eyes. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a big breath in through your nose. Take a full breath out. So here's the deal with the push-ups. You take them, you don't take them. Nobody cares. Do what you need. You could take 3, you could take 10, you can take none. Roll forward, plank. Yeah, find a version of chaturanga that works. Lead with your heart and chest. Activate your legs. Press through your hands. Good. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Root strongly with your hands. Look forward and see if you can begin to kind of tippy toe without your hands lifting to the top of the mat. Once you arrive, feet come together if available, long spine on the inhale, or hands just slide to your shins. This works great. Weight is forward. Exhale, fold into yourself. Root to rise, come all the way up. Anchor. Drag your hands to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. Just standing your body right here. Let the shoulders draw down the back. Close your eyes for a second and just feel. Feel your body, the connection to your body, your breath. So important. I know for most of us, we move through the day and we lose the sense of connection to ourselves. So just reconnect here. Blink the eyes open. Energetically reach your arms up. Look up a little with your eyes. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go if you can. Come to the fingertips to prepare. Plant your palms. 2 big steps gets you to the back of the mat. Yeah. Halfway to a chaturanga. Upward facing slides you through, or baby cobra if lower back is sensitive. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. These are just to get the cobwebs out. Anchor through your hands. Look where you want to go. Step your feet. Don't be in such a rush to hop to the top. Long spine. Weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise. Come all the way up. Drag it to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. Again, arms reach up. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let the head go. Come to the fingertips to prepare. Plant your palms. You can step if you feel energetic and you want to float. Remember, bent elbows to a chaturanga. Upward facing drags you through. Hips up and back, downward facing. So if up dog isn't for you, you can just take a push up. You can hold plank. You can just find your way to a dog and hold and stabilize. Look to the top of the mat, step or float at this point to arrive. Long spine, weight is forward. Exhale, fold again. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. Keep going. Arms reach up. Dive over those bent knees, forward fold. Let the head go. Come to the fingertips to prepare. Plant your palms. Step or float through your vinyasa. Up dog, activate, anchor the legs, the tops of the feet, from your hips, up and back, downward facing dog. Each one gets a little bit more lively. Press anchor through your hands, look where you want to go, step or float to the top, one more. Long spine to prepare, exhale, fold again. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag it to prayer at heart, drop your arms. Nice and fluid, arms reach up. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips to prepare. Step or float through your vinyasa. You can just step. Chaturanga, if it's available. Upward facing, drag yourself through. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, float your right leg up just hip height. So it's kind of like you're moving through mud. That's the energy that you want to feel. Yeah, like you have weights on your body. Press strong through your left foot and plug your hands evenly into the mat. Point your right toes in a three-legged dog. Just point them. Hug your right knee in towards your navel in your down dog, not in a plank, in your down dog. So scoop out your belly and look towards your knee a little. Point your right toes and slide your right leg back to a three-legged down dog. So working your glute here, do this a bunch of times. You're gonna hug your right knee in a down dog, not a plank. Scoop out your belly, extend it and press through mud, straight back, three-legged down dog. One more, hug the knee in. Nice and firm, tighten up the core. Right leg up and back, three-legged down dog. Now roll forward with your right leg lifted to a three-legged plank. Point your right toes. Hug the knee straight in a plank position. Look forward with your eyes. So now you're in plank and the knee is dragging in. And it doesn't look like a pigeon. It's plank with the knee in. Yeah. Look forward, slide your right foot all the way forward and through into a low lunge. Come to your fingertips, drop your back knee on an angle, but keep the toes, if you can, curled into the mat. If you need to pad underneath your knee, go ahead and do that. Be on your fingertips here, grip your right hip in strong. Staying low to the floor, such as I'm showing, reach your arms back. So your stomach is almost resting on your right thigh. I'm hovering and my back knee is actually down. Yeah. Arms reach back energetically. If it's available, clasp the hands behind the back. Now, having the arms straight may not feel so great, so you could bend your elbows a little bit and begin to pull the shoulder blades back into the socket. Feel your right heel press down. Actually, pick up all 5 toes of your right foot, pick them up firmly up off the ground, plug the ball of your foot into the floor, and then replant the toes back down. Grip the right hip in. Staying hovering like this, begin to grip your left hip and glute and thigh bone up and fire it up. So now you're hovering in this like low class lunge. Good, stay like this. Activate your inner and outer thighs, and if you can, fix your eyes a little bit forward. I'm looking to the front edge of the mat. Good, keep the elbows a little bent. Now, grip the legs in strong. Slowly, slowly start to lift your torso up. Now, as the torso lifts, my elbows have more space to maybe straighten. I'm going to straighten my clasp hands, reaching down the back of the thigh. If this doesn't feel good, you can separate the clasp hands and just activate the arms. Either way works great today. But there's kind of an opening of the front body and a grounding and strengthening of the lower half of the body as the hip points move forward. Look up a little with your eyes and hold. From the center line of your body, wherever your hands are, clasped or not, out and up with your arms or straight up, high lunge, crescent lunge, like you have a block in between your hands. Hands to frame your front foot. Pause. If you can, hands firm. Like you got in, hug the knee in, thread it back and through, three-legged down dog. Pause again. Same leg is lifted. Right leg is lifted, hip height. Point the toes. Rock forward, dragging the knee back in. Slide it all the way forward and through. Turn the back foot on its side. Root to rise, warrior one now. There's a steering of your left ribs, everybody, forward. Yeah, so grip your right hip in strong and fire up all the muscles around your back kneecap. My hip points are squared off towards the front edge and my arms are lifted high. My eyes are up. Now, outer blade of your back foot is kind of your security. Press firm through it. Another big breath in. Hands come down, step through a vinyasa or right to a dog, whatever you want. Upward facing should feel pretty cleansing though if you're taking it. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. From your downward facing dog, lift your left leg up, only hip height, and pause. Breathe. Now to work your hip and glute, point your toes of your left foot, point it. So you're making kind of like a bow and arrow with that left foot. So with the toes pointed and the hands plugging down and the hips and the shoulders squared off, hug the knee in and look in a little like you're drawing in. So you're scooping out your belly, kind of an isometric movement. From the glute and the hamstring, left leg up and back, three-legged pointed down dog. So point the toe. On the exhale breath, hug the knee in again, look in a little, scoop out the belly. On the exhale breath, extend the leg out, point the toe a little more. One more. Hug the knee in, draw in tight and close. Extend the leg up and back, pause, toe is pointed, roll forward to plank. So now you're in a plank with your left foot lifted. Draw the left knee in to the center line. So you're in a plank with your knee in. I'm gonna lift my hips a little higher to give my shoulder a break. Hug it in a little tighter. Look forward with your eyes and land your left foot forward and through. Nice big step, everybody. Be on your fingertips, drop the knee at an angle and just pause for a second. So before you go anywhere, lift up your toes, like literally lift them up and really use the ball of your foot to press down and begin to feel your leg kind of firing up. Then replant the toes. Good. From here, reach the arms back and clasp your hands opposite grip if you remember. Elbows can have a little bend, arms can be straight, you decide. Perfect. Activate from your right thigh bone and hip and glute and begin to slowly fire it up off the ground. So now the leg goes straight like plank. Scissor in. My elbows have a little bend, my hands are clasped, and I'm just looking forward. Now very slowly, lower half the body is really rooted. From your hip points and up, start to lift your torso. When I come up with my upper body, I now have a little bit more space to slide my hands down the back of the thigh, but never in a forced effort. Fix your eyes. Look forward, maybe look to the kind of where the ceiling and the wall meet. Grip the hips in and just breathe, steady yourself. From the center line of your body, straight out and up or up towards the sky, high lunge. Get a little heavier in the lower half of the body as you grip your inner thighs in, sit a little deeper. Good, hands to frame your front foot, pause. And the way you got in, hug the knee in and feed the leg, left leg back and through three-legged down dog. Point the toes one more time. Hug the knee straight in, and this time just go ahead and land the left foot all the way forward. A little bit more seamless. Turn the back foot strong, coming up warrior one. It should feel pretty good getting to this warrior one. Back right toes are almost completely pivoted forward, so your right thigh turns, your right ribs go forward. Fix your eyes on something, let your shoulders relax a little. These look great. Sit a little deeper in your warrior one. And just breathe. Hands come down to frame your front foot. Step to a vinyasa. Upward facing should feel good. Hips up and back, downward facing. Take a deep breath in. Take a full exhale breath out. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top. Long spine on the inhale. Exhale, fold. We get to put it together. Sit into chair. The most exciting posture. Chair pose. Weight is in your heels in your chair. Thighs are together, or feet can be a little separated today. A little natural curve in your spine. Look up with your eyes and you try your best to straighten your arms. Doesn't work for all of us. Press up to stand up. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. You're just going to do 3 sun Bs together. Do your best. Arms reach up. Sit into a deep chair. Weight is in your heels so the shins can move back. Exhale, fold over bent legs. Always let the head go. Come to the fingertips to prepare. Step, step, or float through your vinyasa, whatever that looks like today. So don't rush. When you get to your down dog, the right foot lands, the back foot turns, warrior one. Bring it back down at your own pace through a vinyasa or right to a dog. When you get to your downward facing dog, just go ahead and step your left foot forward. Warrior one on that side. Bring it back down on your own count through a vinyasa or meet us all in a downward facing dog, and that's where you regroup. Take a deep breath in. Take a full breath out. It's hard to slow down. It looks good, Maria. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top. Yeah. Long spine when you arrive. Exhale, fold. Sit again into chair. Weight moves into your heels. Everyone looks so excited in their little Zoom boxes. Yeah. Weight is in your heels. Shoot up to stand up. Drag it to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. Look forward with your eyes. Here we go. Arms reach up nice and big. Sit again into chair. Dive over those bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips to prepare. Step or float through your vinyasa. Make the upward facing dog. Yeah, simple. Don't really squeeze. Hips up and back down dog. Right foot lands, back foot turns, warrior one. See if you can get a little momentum going for yourself. Hands back down through a vinyasa or not. So it's not too fast, it's not too slow. It's right up your speed. From your down dog, land your left foot forward. Back foot turns, warrior one. Back down we go through a vinyasa. Meet me in a down dog. So this is where you're supposed to rest, not in between right side and left side, but after the whole thing. We're going to take one more together. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top. Just get there lightly. Long spine, weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Sit deep chair. Weight is in your heels. Press up to stand up. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Arms reach up nice and big. Sit again into chair. Weight moves into your heels. Dive over bent knees, forward fold. Let the head go. Come to the fingertips to prepare. Step or float through your vinyasa. Upward facing dog, smooth operation. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Right foot lands, back foot turns, warrior one. Back down we go at your own pace. Vinyasa. From your downward facing dog, land your left foot forward, turn the back foot strong, warrior one. Back down we go. Vinyasa or meet me in a down dog. So in this down dog, keep your feet the way they are. Look forward, lean onto your right hand and stagger your feet in a Vashisthasana side plank, or you can go ahead and drop the bottom knee. So I can demonstrate this side. Back foot is turned in enough. It's like a warrior 2 foot. Left arm extends up. If you need to modify, bottom knee can be down. You could even float this like I'm showing here. I call this the no arms variation. Find a variation of side plank that works that you can hold. Lift your hips up nice and high. More breath to encourage the feeling of greatness in this pose. It's a wonderful posture. Look down with your eyes through a vinyasa or not. You can just go right to the other side, right to the other side. Just go right to the other side and just find your stability in your core. Your back foot is on a turn, yeah, or your front foot. So gloomy here in New Jersey. Look up and brighten up your day. Breathe. 2 more breaths. Vinyasa, hands to the floor. Do your vinyasa slow, guys. Don't be in such a rush. Up dog is powerful. It's opening up the front line. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Land your right foot forward, turn the back foot strong, warrior one, come on up. Keep your legs bending firmly. Bring your arms forward such as I'm showing, like I'm handing a tray of something to someone. Wrap your left arm underneath your right arm. Yeah. If this does not feel good, you can just go opposite shoulders. Yeah. Rather than tugging down on the elbows, a little lift so you can create a little openness of the upper thoracic. Steer your right hip underneath you, your left thigh forward. My hip points are forward. Inhale the breath, look up with your eyes. Exhale, you're going to come into humble warrior like this. So 2 ways to take humble warrior with eagle arms. Simply just rest your stomach on your thigh, or you can try and get in there. Your right shoulder kind of snuggles in and your head hangs soft. Keep the eagle arms, it kind of adds a new dimension. Watch that you're not winging your right hip underneath out. You want to hug it underneath you. So grip your right hip in strong and press firm through the outer blade of your left foot. Fix your eyes on something that's not moving that you can really just meditate on right here. Hold. Keep your eagle arms, guys. Start to come up with eagle arms, warrior 1. Position in your legs, just pull yourself up. Don't let go of the eagle arms. Look forward with your eyes. Step up into eagle right here. Wrap your left thigh around. Testing the balance early on. Your foot can wrap around the calf or it can simply just wrap the thighs. Squeeze the arms and squeeze the legs and bend deeply into your standing right leg as if you were in chair. Weight is in your heel. Hips back, torso lifted. If your eyes are all over the place, it's going to be hard to balance. So just come to one spot of stillness, squeeze down the center line. Take another big breath in. The step back is going to be step back to warrior 1. Unravel and see if you can do it seamlessly. It's a test. Simon says warrior 1. There you go. Bring it to the floor, vinyasa, or right to a dog. You choose. When you get to your down dog, step your left foot forward, turn your back foot strong, warrior 1 on the left side. Check in with your alignment first, just before going to the next thing. Yes, hip points are forward. Arms reach forward, not your whole body, just your arms. Wrap the right arm underneath the left. Yeah, take your time. Don't yank down. See if you can lift up and it's going to create a little more space, or just go with a bear squeeze. This is great too. Good. Inhale the breath. Plug down through your feet. Grip your left hip in. Come forward into your version of humble. Simply just resting the stomach on the thigh or hovering it, or seeing if you can hug your left shoulder to the inside of the left leg. When you do that, though, make sure you don't open your hips. Your hips are squared towards the front edge of the mat. Activate from your back leg just as much as gripping your left hip in strong, and let your head go. The moments that you can find stillness, those are the greatest moments. Breathe. Keep the strong shape of the warrior 1 legs and keep your arms in eagle arms. Just pull the torso up. Just pull the torso up. Keep bending into your front leg. That's the goal here. Wrap the right thigh around, step up into eagle. Testing your balance early on. The right foot doesn't necessarily need to wrap around. Right, so you decide how much and how deep you want to go. Steer your hips back. Weight is in the standing left heel. Chest is lifted in this version. Squeeze down the center line of your body and fix your eyes. Connect to your breath as the challenge starts to rise a little in the pose. Another big breath in. Smooth transition, guys. Just unravel and step back. Warrior 1. Make it fun. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Chaturanga Dandasana or right to a dog. Move through your vinyasa. Meet me in a down dog and exhale all your breath out. Good. In this downward facing dog, slide your right foot forward and through into a low lunge. Good. Reach for a block. We're going to pop up right here into half moon. Right here into half moon. Focus on your right heel and your right foot being forward. Grip your right hip in. Left arm could be alongside your body or slide it up towards the sky. I'm against a wall. I can even lean against this wall if I needed a little extra TLC today. Play with the height of the block. So sometimes I've gotten the habit of it being really high. Kind of like it. Yeah. But you could definitely play with it being medium or low. If you fall out 100 times, it's just yoga. Get back in. Quiet your mind, quiet your breath as you grip your right hip in strong and lift from your inner left thigh. Add in whatever you need, Shavasana, balancing act, or maybe just more breath. Side waist, side ribs, long. Couple more good breaths. Everyone looks solid here. Stay with it. If you added a Chopasana and need balance, just meet us in regular version, half moon. Transition will be slow into triangle. If you need your block, move it with you. Step back, triangle pose. It's not always the most graceful thing. Your hand could be on your shin. If you need to pull out and kind of reset, do that. Triangle. Maria, play with the stance. Yeah, you're in a little bit more of the Ashangi triangle, which is fine. But just play with what feels better in your body today. A little tighter, a little longer. You decide. Front right leg has to have a little micro bend. Yeah, back leg is super strong and engaged. And then look up with your eyes. Grip your right hip in and create some dimension of space from the right hip to the right armpit. Stay a little longer. For the last little bit, play with what I talked about early on. Lift the toes up. Lift them up off the ground, and feel the inner and outer thighs kind of fire up, and then replace them down, really engage. Back leg and back arm, super strong. Lead with that and pull back up, straight arms and straight legs. Good. Bring your hands to your hips and just pivot your right toes in. So my toes are both facing you. Interlace the hands. If you can interlace the hands, that's great. If not, hands just stay on your hips. Inhale the breath, lift the chest, bend behind your knees, and then fold. Either clasp hands or you can go opposite elbows. I'm going opposite elbows like a rag doll. Now, when I come forward, I notice my elbows hit the ground. So I'm going to walk my feet in a little closer so I can get a little more from this. Lift the hips up and fold. Let the head go. So separate leg stretching, just as good as an inversion. Doing all the same things. Let your body just kind of fold here. Breathe. Two more. Good. If your hands are bound, release them down underneath your shoulders. If your hands are clasped like mine, come up onto your fingertips right underneath your shoulders and look forward. Staying close to the floor right here. You're going to pivot your hands to your right foot and pivot your right toes out. Good. Widen your stance if you need to. Bend deep with your hands down into a warrior two. Take your block to the inside of your foot so you're not coming up, and you're setting up like this, left arm up. So don't come up. See if you could just stay close to the ground. It kind of changes the mood of the practice. Yeah, you need to kind of creep around a little to find it. If you need to come up and reset, you do it. Block to the inside or just bump your arm up and rest your arm on the top of your thigh. Back of your tricep presses against the inside of the leg so you get the hip opener here. Create the leaning back sensation. Grip your right hip in strong. Now this left arm, you can wrap it around. You can take it to your hip. Half bind. Good. Let me see how you're all doing. Perfect. Grip that hip. The hip, yeah, the right hip underneath you. Lean back a little more so the crown of the head is over your front foot. Really nice, Tracy. Breathe. You got a few more breaths. Make it as useful as you can. Okay, focus intently on your legs, your inner thighs, and your feet. On the next sharp exhale breath, however you are, pull yourself right up, warrior two, without any bounce. Straighten out your torso and hold. Yes. Wrap your inner thigh open, anchor your left leg. Side body nice and up and down, crown of the head straight up. Close your eyes, hold 5 breaths. 5 breaths, just breathe into your body in the shape that you're creating. Nothing needs to be perfect. It just needs to be aligned correctly, and you're right where you need to be. Dig a little deeper. Blink your eyes open, look forward with your eyes, take it to the floor, Vinyasa, or just to a dog. I'm going to a dog. Why not? When you get to your down dog, you settle in for a second. And then from here, from your down dog, slide your left foot forward into a low lunge. Reach for a block, and from here, see if you can float up smoothly, half moon. Smooth. That is the key, the smooth. Not happening so smooth on the left side. Grip your left hip in strong. Right arm can float up, or the arm can just rest alongside your body. Takes a little bit to kind of find it. Then once you do, that's where the journey begins. Add in what you need, half bind, no bind, thinking about a bind, thinking about your breath, thinking about lunch, whatever it is. But stay engaged and stay connected right here. Anything you added in, just meet us back in the traditional version of half moon. The step back into triangle should be very slow. Move the block with you if you need it. Transition at your own pace. Triangle. If you need to pull out and step back in, you do that. If it doesn't feel right, pull yourself up, rearrange your feet, and come back in. Your hand could be on your shin, your thigh, a block to the outside of the calf. Anything goes here. Your back leg is really strong and rooted. Your front leg has a little bend. Side ribs are long, and you look up. There's a feeling of leaning back, but you're not going into your lower back. Plug down with your feet. See if you could spread your toes wide. Last little bit here. And then replant them back down. Focus a lot of energy on your back leg and your top right arm. From there, pull up, straight arms and straight legs. Good. Take your hands to your hips, pivot your toes in. I'm facing you. Inhale the breath. You're probably facing the other direction. Clasp your hands or just hands on hips. Inhale and exhale, come forward. So as you come down in this one, if you went for like the ragdolly version, just grab opposite elbows. If you have clasped hands or another variation, just switch it up. If you want to go up into an inversion, this is a great place to kind of add that in. You can embellish. So tripod headstand is a great pose right here if you have that in your practice. If not, just settle in with your breath and enjoy the experience of just folding forward. Let your head go. Every breath that you stay in the pose is kind of like peeling away a little more layer. It's kind of neat. If you went up into an inversion, you start to slowly work out and meet us where we are in a forward fold, wide leg forward fold. Bring your hands down underneath your shoulders. Come to the fingertips, long spine first. Keep the fingertips down. Just creep your hands to the left. You know you're going to need your block, so you can kind of move it with you. Turn from your hip and your left foot out, and then bend deep into your front thigh and place the block to the instep of the foot and set up B variation just like this. Yeah, if you need to pull up and kind of wiggle in, and then come back into it, that's fine. I'm just trying to offer kind of a different element of getting in. So my blocks on the inside, or by all means, you can have your arm resting on your thigh. Grip your left hip in strong and turn the bottom ribs. Right arm could be straight up, hand can be on your hip, or you can add that half bind and look over the right shoulder. Get heavy in your feet and legs. Let your hips drop. Yeah. Twist open. Your mind starts to yell things in this pose. So see if you can quiet your mind and just tune into your breath a little longer. Strong back leg. Grip your left hip in and lean back into it a little bit. So place the attention on the lower half of the body without any bounce. Wherever you are, pull up warrior two. Warrior two. Iron it out here. Straight up and down with your torso, a wrapping open of your left thigh, a strong back leg, arms spread nice and wide. And then close your eyes and just settle in here for a few really solid, encouraging breaths for yourself. Drop down. Stay with it. Two more. Look forward, take it through a vinyasa or right to a downward facing dog, whatever it is that you need and feels good. Once you get to your dog, exhale all the breath out. Stay with me, guys. Things are about to get interesting. Look to the top of the mat, step or float to get there. Long spine on the inhale breath. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag it to prayer at heart. Stand up here. Separate your feet hips width distance. It may help. Okay. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. I'll turn towards you. Okay. So flex the foot. So just start with the left leg straight. It helps. And then this is external rotation. So a strong exhale. You can even use your hand. Flex your right foot strong. Move your hands to your hips and start to sit into a chair like this. I've been known to even use the wall. There's nothing wrong with like using a prop in your house where my butt is like literally on the wall, but we're going to flow a little from this position in a moment. So if you do this, you will have to like move yourself. Okay. Which is fine. Use your hands, like really slide your hands, like give yourself a little adjustment to press your hips kind of down and back. Keep flexing your foot. Good. So here is where we're going to be. If you're dying to go into flying pigeon today because you just feel like you need that, then but you're going to do it. Go for it. I'm going to work a little different. I'm going to get really strong in the lower half of the body, and I'm going to slide my arms back like I'm flying. And then I'm actually going to go ahead and clasp my hands. I'm going to keep a little bend behind the elbows to free up the shoulder blades, but your arms can be straight, and you can create more of an up dog here. Just really getting heavy in the standing left leg and focusing on this incredible strength of ankle to knee and opening of the hip. I'm going to fix my eyes on one spot. I'm going to really focus intently for the next several breaths. Good. So we're going to move together slow. If you're in a flying version of this, you just have to come out and meet us here. I'm going to try and keep my hands bound. If they're not, hands can just move to hips. Press up into the standing left leg and hug the right knee in. So I'm standing on my left leg and my right foot is flexed. My right leg is strong. Yeah. Just do this much first. From here, I'm floating through a warrior three with my hands bound. The blocks are always there for you if you need them, but try not to open your hips. Square everything off like we were practicing in that down dog. Soften that left leg. Actually, guys, go ahead and bend it a lot. Like bend the left leg a lot. Flex your right foot a lot. Keep your hands bound. If they need to come to the floor of the blocks, There's no fault there. Keep fixing your eyes on one spot forward. Giant step back into a crescent lunge. Oops, I lost it. Hands are still bound. How did you do? Not so well. That's okay. Crescent lunge on the left side. Lift your torso, Tracy, if you can. Crescent lunge. My hands are still bound, or hands could just be on hips. Good. Walk your arms up to the sky. Get a little heavier in your front leg. Slide your hands to prayer. So we always do everything right. Like, what about the lefties out there? Inhale the breath, hook the elbow, and twist. Got multiple people in my household that are lefties. So this class is for those lefties out there. We always go right in everything. Today we go left. Yes. Make sure your stance, guys, is not too narrow. And what I mean by that is your left foot may need to walk to the left. Back knee can drop. If you're like cursing at yourself, back knee can drop. You're like, hells yeah, I'm taking that. Get in there and twist open. Open up your arms if you want more. Breathe. There's a leaning back, and there's a scissoring of your inner and outer thighs as you twist from above your belly button. Two more. Look down. Place both hands down and pause. Pause. Just take a second and pause. If your back knee's on the ground, engage it. Be on your fingertips or slide blocks. Swing your right foot forward back to hips width. Long spine on the inhale. Fold into your legs. With your feet like this, sit into chair. Reach your arms up. Slide the hands to prayer. Inhale the breath. You don't have to hook today. You can stay up high and kind of air twist. If you think keeping your feet hips width distance like this, when you get your elbow in, if you feel like you dump, I want you to stay up higher and just work on opening your arms here. If you think you could get in there without kind of bringing the whole right side of the body forward, then give it a whirl. But I'm okay with this today. Create the shape. Weight is in your heels and twist, like almost an air twist or an air floating of your arms. Spine is long. 3 more breaths. This is hard as heck. Breathe. Keep the strong shape in your legs. Pull around to chair. Look forward with your eyes. Shoot up to stand up. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Let it go. Here we go, guys. Other side. So the right leg is going to be the leg you balance on unless for some reason you mixed it up. Left ankle is going to cross over. Start like this. Good. You may need even to encourage that thigh to open. Hands can come to your hips and then start to sit back into that chair. Give your thumbs like a little press down and back type action to really start to get that hip opening. Great. Reach your arms back like you're flying. If you do want to fly, you're welcome to go down and fly. Clasp your hands behind your back. Fix your eyes on something. Keep bending into the standing right leg. Steer your left hip back. Focus on your breath. If you're flying, start to come back up and meet the rest of us in ankle to knee. So keep your hands bound behind your back or simply just bring your hands to your hips. Focus strongly on your right leg. Start to pull yourself up to stand, hugging your left knee to your navel. Hands are going to stay bound, or hands can be on hips. Shoulder blades draw down the back. Just do this much. Fire up your abdominal wall. From here, you're going to start to move through a warrior 3. Warrior 3. If you need blocks, you go ahead and use the blocks. Bend your right leg a lot. Steer your left thigh down. Take another big breath in. Giant step back, bound hands, crescent lunge if you can, or hands to hips. How'd you do? Yeah, lift your torso, Trace. Lift your torso. Walk your arms up. Hands come to prayer at heart center. Inhale the breath, lean out, hook the elbow, and twist. Crescent with a twist right here. Drop your back knee if you need a little less intensity. Activate your inner and outer thighs, get in there. So fire up your back leg if you've chosen to keep it. Yeah. And then lean back so the crown of the head lines up with your left heel and get in there. Breathe. 2 more breaths. Activate your back left quadricep more. Grip your right hip in strong and twist open. Look down. Take both hands to frame your front foot. Pause. Look forward with your eyes and spring your left foot forward to your hips width distance. Long spine on the inhale, right here at the top of the mat. Exhale, fold into yourself. Sit into a chair like this. Arms come up. So feet are about hips width, even a little wider, mine are. Drag the hands to prayer. Inhale the breath. I'm going to air twist to the right and really focus on the lower half of the body, staying strong. But you can hook the elbow and get in there. Just keep the knee without it sliding forward. Open up your arms if you want more. Think of the shape and the breath is what we're going for. You got this, everyone. Strong shape in your legs, wherever you've chosen to be. Chair pose. Lower all the way in your chair. Your arms reach up, your legs are bent. My legs are bent leg in Navasana. I call this sad Navasana. Happy Navasana, arms reach up. Flex your toes. Draw the pit of the belly in. Yeah. Bend your legs so your thighs draw towards your navel and your spine is upright. So we're going to go into a low boat pose. Low boat, you're going to kind of hover everything from the floor. My arms are actually going to go forward. It's going to look like this. I'm going to scoop up my belly and look towards the sky to protect the neck. Pull back up, Navasana boat pose. Bent legs, arms can go up, hands can go down. Anything works here. Low boat, my hands can slide to the floor to protect me a little more. Hold here for 3, for 2, and 1. Release all the way down to the ground. Take your legs, bend them in half. Set yourself up right here for bridge. Take your blocks with you if you know you need them. Yeah. So biggest thing with bridge, guys, fingertips skim the backs of your heels. Feet are forward, thighs are forward. Lift your tailbone. You can robot your arms, such as I'm showing. You can clasp your hands underneath you. You can choose just to slide a block underneath your tailbone. Any direction that works. So you can go with a high direction. Keep steering the feet and the legs forward though. Yeah. Perfect. I find especially in this type of pose, these types of poses, the smaller movements are so much more beneficial. So don't feel like you need to go big in your back bends. We've been back bending the whole class essentially. Lower down, take a breath in. If you're on a block, just stay. Take a breath out. We're going to do one more. If you're ready to move on, you'll flip your palms. If you kind of like where you're at, repeat. If you're on a block, the block's underneath the lower back, just extend the legs straight up. If you're going for a full wheel, just please make sure your feet are steering forward. Nice work. Feet forward, hips lift higher. Exhale the breath, start to come out. Good. Move any objects out, so feet down first, Reg. Get your feet flat to the floor and then remove the block from underneath you. And then squeeze the knees in, reach to the outer blades of your feet for a happy baby. Pull the knees down around the rib cage. Lengthen your tailbone, soften the shoulders. Good. Hug the knees in And right here on your backs, unless you're dying for a half pigeon, of course you take it. Set yourself up for ankle to knee on your back. So I'm actually going to start with my left foot down and my right foot crossing over the left thigh. Then I'll lift my leg up and I'm going to thread my hands through the space to get hold of the left shin. I'm showing this because you can also always go to the wall and it would look like this. Your foot would bend and your right leg would press. And this is a little bit more passive, but really getting an effective stretch. So as we near the end of the practice, start to allow yourself just to shut down. Drop into it. I'll let you know when you need to switch sides. So just breathe and enjoy. Wherever you are, start to switch. So I'm just against the wall. I'm just going to switch the leg. If you're on your back, just switch the ankle to knee. If you're in a half or double seated pigeon, switch into the other side. Let me see. Start to slowly release out. Give your knees a solid squeeze, like hug in. Yeah. And then slide yourself into Shavasana, complete rest. We did enough stuff, just rest. I know we all have very busy lives, but give yourself the next 2 minutes to just mush to the field, into the field, into the floor, into the field, to the floor. Fill up your body with a giant inhale breath. At the top of the breath, see if you can just hold for a second and then exhale everything out. Bring your arms slowly up over the top of the head. If you need more time, just ignore me. I'm not offended. Take what you need. Move within your body's limitations. Hug your knees to your chest if you're moving on. Squeeze in tight. Roll up if and when you're ready to a seated position and sit up nice and tall. So a lot of times we get to the whole practice and really what we need is just this moment right here. Like all the work we just did was wonderful and great to get to this point, but we need this moment. So sit up really tall with your shoulders back. Allow your eyes to close if you can. and really absorb the benefits and the feeling of this moment of the practice. Hands come to prayer. Bow your head. Lift your head, open your eyes. With gratitude always. Namaste. I'm back at it Sunday at 10 a.m. If you would like to be in person, just email me. I'll send a link on Friday. If you're unsure, you could always text me last minute. If you want to just live stream, the link will be the same for Sunday at 10 a.m. Okay, see you soon. Have a good rest of the week.